Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I'm Tifani Putri Maharammi.Y as a student of English Education Study Program 2025 in Sriwijaya University with student number 06011282530033. So, today I'm going to talk about my pronunciation assignment, which is a short presentation on English pronunciation issue in elementary school. So, I will focus on one common mistake, which is the mispronunciation of the sound. You might think, why this sound is difficult. As you can see, it appears in everyday words like think, thank you, and three. But many students find it tricky to pronounce. So, in my presentation, I will explain why this sound is challenging and show some common mistakes students make, and I will give some examples on how we can help them improve. So let's get started. So, why do they make these mistakes? The main reason is that the sound doesn't exist in their mother language, like in Indonesian. Because of that, students try to use the closest sound they know, which is usually the or the sound. Another reason is that the tongue position feels strange for them. The tongue has to be between the teeth, which they're not used to, so they avoid it and use an easier sound instead. Here are some common mispronunciations of the sound made by elementary students. So, many students say think instead of think, and three instead of three. They use the sound instead of sound because it feels more easier for them to pronounce. The same thing happens in other words. Students say thin instead of thin, and bad instead of bath, and nothing instead of nothing. So, they consistently use familiar sounds like the sound instead of the sound. This shows that the sounds is still difficult for them to pronounce. So everyone, the sound is important because it appears in many daily words like think, three, thank you, bath, and other. So, when students say think, thin, thank you, the meaning can become unclear. So, correct pronunciation is important because it can help misunderstanding and it can help communication clear. It can also build students' confidence when they pronounce difficult sounds. They feel more comfortable speaking English, and if we teach this sound early, we can prevent long-term mistakes that become harder to fix later. So, this sound is very important. So everyone, how to improve the sound? So, you can teach the correct tongue position. First, place the tip of your tongue gently between your upper and lower teeth. Second, push air out through the gap. And third, make sure your throat doesn't vibrate because the sound is a voiceless sound. So if you touch your throat, you shouldn't feel any vibration. Next, we can use minimal pair practice. For example, thin, tin, think, think, thank, thank. So it can help students notice the difference and train their ears. Next, we can use mirror practice. For example, we can ask students to use a mirror and check whether their tongue is visible. So, this makes learning more fun and it can help students correct themselves. Next, we can use teacher modeling. So, we can say the word like think, think, think. And then, let students repeat from slowly to normal speed. And for the last one, we can practice in real sentences. For stress, I can say, I think it's correct. I think it's correct. So here I'm putting word stress on the word think. And for rising intonation, for example, in a question, do you think this is right? Do you think this is right? So my voice goes up at the end. And for sentences, the intonation goes down. For example, I think it's good. I think it's good. And for rhythm, we try to speak more smoothly and naturally. For example, I think I need 3 things today, like that. So it flows more naturally when we keep rhythm steady. So everyone, in conclusion, the sound is still difficult for young learners, especially in elementary school, because it doesn't exist in our language. And then the tongue position is unfamiliar. So many students often replace it with another sound like t sound. But by teaching the correct tongue position and then use minimal pairs, use teacher modeling, and practice in real sentences like stress, intonation, and rhythm, we can help students pronounce this sound more accurately. So maybe that's all from me. Thank you so much for listening and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.